Wrestling fans, WXW's Miami Meltdown continues with this one fall contest set with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Miami Vice, the tantalizing Tony Ice! His opponent, hailing from Star Island, Angelina Cruz presents, he is the A-lister, Jaxen Blade!
Now, why are you clapping?
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Jaxen Blade. I absolutely love all of his stuff.
As Dan Ragu, my broadcast colleague on the evening, his first appearance here at WXW, already a huge fan of Jaxen Blade.
It's not even that. I've been a fan for a long time. I've followed Jaxen Blade's career for several years now.
How much did he pay you to say that?
Not one dime. This is all authentic and original from Dan Ragu.
As Jaxen Blade, a former three-time WXW Cruiserweight Champion, holding that title, Dan, as recently as 7 days ago, being upended by Ace Radic. Ace, of course, not here tonight in Miami, but Jaxen Blade out for revenge with a chip on his shoulder here in the 305, traveling about 4 hours south. And he's going to take on the debuting Tony Ice. You take a look at Tony Ice, looks like he's been in the squared circle for many years, has an incredible physique. Absolutely. And he's now looking to make a statement against the former Cruiserweight Champion. Bell sounds, this one's underway. Miami Meltdown continues here, Dan, as these guys are going to hook it up. And we don't really know a lot about Tony Ice to the point, I don't know what kind of styles are going to mesh right here.
I'll tell you one thing I can tell you right now about Tony Ice is he's definitely got a few fans here in the audience as he made his way to the ring.
Tony Ice has certainly won over the female fans, as you heard some of those catcalls upon his entrance. But here comes the A-lister Jaxen Blade.
The agility is already something different here. He's showing off his ring awareness and why he is a former champion in his own right.
As these two still in the feeling out process right now, and of course Dan on the outside, the lovely Angelina Cruz always finding a way to insert herself in her man's matches. If she does it here tonight, it's pretty much a Jaxen Blade show against Tony Ice.
Well, you definitely have to keep your eye on everybody going on in this one. It's never just about your opponent. Everything, whether it's the opponent, and Tony Ice now getting a little bit of a joke here with...
As Jaxen Blade, he calls himself not only just the Crown Prince of Perfection, but he calls himself the Spotlight of WXW. And Dan, taking a look at things right now, it looks like Tony Ice is trying to take the spotlight from the former three-time Cruiserweight Champion.
Well, when you want to get a good shot here, and he's a newcomer here in WXW, you definitely want to find somebody there. You can't just sit here and wait for your opportunity. You have to take it. and that's exactly what Tony Ice is doing.
Full arm dragon twist applied by Ice. Sucker punch by Jaxen Blade in reversal right now. Tries the top wrist lock, and look at the athleticism here by Tony Ice.
Wow.
Spins right out of it into the hammerlock reversal, as it looks like Tony Ice certainly has the basics down, Dan.
Absolutely. I mean, we were wondering what we would see out of this gentleman, and we're seeing some great stuff here on the earliest starts of this match.
We know he was in incredible shape. We've seen him train in the gym, but we've yet to see him in an actual matchup. And these fans here in Miami being treated to the debut of Tony Ice, and some of those hip gyrations right there, making the ladies squeal here at the Polish American Club.
Well, I can hear it already. I can see what's going on. The temperature has risen here at Miami Meltdown.
Side headlock applied here by Tony Ice. Off the ropes, and the power of Ice driven right there in the Blade. Off the ropes one more time. Tries to leapfrog, does Blade. Slides underneath it. Tony Ice. He flexes some of that ice, and it might be too much there for Blade.
He's catching off Jaxen Blade off guard here. It looks very interesting.
As your buddy Jaxen Blade, as Dan Ragu already bought a Jaxen Blade t-shirt from what I understand before the show tonight.
It's a medium.
As the arm bar applied here from Ice, tries once again to cinch it in, as this crowd here getting behind Jaxen Blade. And you guess, from nearby Star Island, only about 20 or 30 minutes away, Jaxen Blade, a crowd favorite here at the Polish American Club.
Well, absolutely. Everybody was ready for this man here, as they should be. And you could see the great athleticism here by Tony Ice. Now, yes, I may be a fan, but I can give the devil his due, and I can definitely say Tony Ice is impressing me tonight.
And Ice here not showing any kind of remorse for Jaxen Blade, going right at him as Angelina Cruz trying to break it up, and Jaxen Blade finds the opening, trips him up, and he falls face first on that top turnbuckle, and that's going to leave the opening wide there for Jaxen Blade to create some offense.
That's a little bit of a smart wherewithal as far as ring awareness here by Jaxen Blade. The referee wasn't paying attention. He took advantage of that.
And Blade going to town right there on Tony Ice, pummeling him there with right hands, as the frustration starting to set in for Jaxen Blade. Not too pleased with how Tony Ice was treating him out throughout the first few minutes.
Oh, absolutely no, and he's definitely trying to show, saying he's a rookie here. Jaxen Blade knows exactly what WXW is all about. He is here to prove his point.
And we've seen Jaxen Blade in some high-flying affairs over the last couple of months with Ace Erratic. A little bit of a different style here from Tony Ice, more of a mat-based attack.
You got to wonder if Jaxen Blade is a little bit more upset about the fact that he's not still in that title contention, that he's going up against a rookie here in WXW. You got to believe he wants that title gun. He wants gold back around his waist.
The Irish whip and the drop kick didn't get him in the kisser. Got him more right there in the breadbasket, Dan. Maybe not exactly what he wanted, but again, Jaxen Blade not showing any kind of respect for the newcomer. And I'll tell you what, it might be deserved after the way Tony Ice acted upon his arrival here at WXW.
You gotta think about it. He's trying to go off the big bull, taking him down. I can't imagine that it's anything good here. And Tony Ice is definitely paying for any of his transgressions now.
Still 2 championships to be decided tonight, and a big 6-man tag as the Beast and the tag team champions, Sweet TNT, take on the Prophecy in a match that will surely rock the foundation of the Polish American Club. But the big one, will the third time be a charm, Dan, for Sean Maluta? He got screwed over at Power Surge. We saw the M&Ms insert themselves just last week at Royal Uproar. Will Miami Meltdown be the time Sean Maluta takes back that WXW heavyweight title?
Sean Maluta's oil, ERA is water. Those two just do not mix, and we are going to see an amazing matchup tonight.
And the back body drop into the backstabber. Innovative offense right there by Jaxen Blade. Hooks the outside leg, 1-2, and 2 7/8. I thought that might do it, but he kicks out at the nick of time.
Just barely getting it there.
As Tony Ice struggling to get back to his feet, and damn, this is something we have yet to talk about, but the longer this match goes, you have to think that's going to favor Jaxen Blade, simply because he's been in this scenario before, where Tony Ice, once he gets past 5 or 6 minutes, he might feel a little bit lost in that ring.
Absolutely, you got to give it to the veteran in this scenario, as Tony Ice is just out of desperation there, it seems.
As Tony Ice digging for a second win, both these men are down. This match hanging in the balance here certainly could be looking at a top contender, not only for the Cruiserweight title and Ace Radic, but of course Wildman Robbie Rojas, who did just get defeated by Big O, but is still your television champion. A lot of contenders working their way up through the ranks here at WXW. These two men certainly right there. Measures him up, and Tony Ice with the clothesline. Beautifully done there, Dan. There's a back elbow. Tony Ice starting to pick up the offense here. Picture perfect drop kick right in the kisser. Down goes 2, and Blade was down, and Tony Ice nearly got to 3.
You could see the frustration actually starting to get there, and that's the thing. You got to keep your emotions in check when you're in these matches. Big style matches like this, Jaxen Blade needs to be careful about that.
Tony Ice there with the leg lariat. He might be trying to close out Jaxen Blade any minute now. Rolls him over, hooks the leg, 1, 2. Tries to hook both legs, but again, the former 3-time Cruiserweight champion finds a way to stay alive.
And you got to imagine now, this is where the frustration for Tony Ice is actually coming into play. You wonder, why can't I just do this? He thought he had a game plan, and it's not working out for him.
And the Crown Prince of Perfection. This is not the game plan he envisioned. He grabs him there, and there's a flatliner, and he's going to hook, it looks like, his version of the Rings of Saturn.
Oh, wait a minute.
He's got it cinched in now. Could Tony Ice tap out? Could he be melting Tony Ice right here in Miami?
I was going to say that.
As he's got it locked in, Dan, you should know something about this move.
Oh, it's absolutely the most devastating thing. Everything about him, your neck, your arms, your back, everything is being destroyed and twisted in a way that should not happen to a human body.
And Dan, the more he fights for his life right here, the more Tony Ice might be hurting himself.
Absolutely. You don't want to try to tweak out something. You could potentially dislocate his shoulder, rip a neck muscle.
He rolls him over. Oh, and he goes right back into it. Unfortunately for Tony Ice, that might have taken him even more out of position to reach the ropes.
What a great contender here by Jaxen Blade. He knew what to do, kept it going on, cinched it in even harder.
As Jaxen Blade trying to cinch in his version of the Rings of Saturn right here.
I wonder, can you imagine this? This can't be good. The longer this match goes, this cannot be good for Wait a minute.
Oh, wait. Look at the power here, Tony Ice. He gets backed up to his feet. Look at the power. Tony Ice back, and there's a Samoan drop.
That was definitely effective. That definitely stopped Jaxen Blade for sure here.
Now, can he capitalize here, Dan? Both men are down. Can Tony Ice make the cover and walk out of Miami Meltdown with the victory in his WXW debut?
Well, the first one of their feet is definitely going to have the momentum on their side, and that looks like it's Tony Ice here.
As Ice is measuring him up here. Jaxen Blade on Dream Street. He puts him in position.
Wait a minute.
He's got him up now. And there's a slingshot suplex. Wait, Cruz is going to hook the leg. Wait, Angelina Cruz, 1, 2, 3, and Jaxen Blade steals it.
Yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, Jaxen Blade!
Well, Jaxen Blade definitely melting out the ideas of any chance here at WXW for Tony Ice.
Dan, very tough right there. Tony Ice, one hell of a debut. But as we talked about in the beginning of the matchup, Angelina Cruz always finding a way to insert herself into Jaxen Blade's matches. She gives him the assist, and Jaxen Blade quickly recovers from that loss to Ace Radic just a week ago.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see more of these guys. I'm super excited.
Folks, coming up next, it's ladies action triple threat match for the WXW Women's Championship.
Wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed by the referee. This match will be restarted, and Angelina Cruz has been ejected from ringside.
That's not fair. Jaxen Blade already had this matchup won. Wait a minute.
Wait, Tony Ice hooks like 1, 2, 3, he got him.
Oh my goodness. This is not fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, your official winner, Tony
So the A-lister gets screwed over, Dan, as Jaxen Blade really showing some frustration here. Jaxen Blade showing he's a sore loser. That's now 2 losses in a row, Dan, and he's going to throw Tony Ice over the top all the way to the floor. But regardless of what he's doing right now, the damage has been done. After the loss last week to Ace Radic, losing that Cruiserweight title, Tony Ice winning his WXW debut, and now Jaxen Blade's going to have to work his way back up the ladder if he wants a title shot of any kind in the near future.
Well, Tony Ice definitely showing some great action early on in this one, and I got to imagine we're going to see a lot of great things from that superstar coming up.
What a turn of events right here. But folks, 2 weeks from right now, WXW's 7th anniversary, Jaxen Blade will look to make a huge impact.